What's up, everybody? Justin back here with a new countdown, a new top 5 countdown video. It's been a while since I've done a countdown, so here's a new one. Let me get this sound off. I have if you care, I have NBA TV on. My Milwaukee Bucks, just won game 1. And damn, they look good. Damn, they play together so damn well. None of the players, not even Giannis, none of them are selfish. They all play together as a team. Great team win. I have a great feeling that the Bucks are going to the NBA Finals. And I hope they do. I really do. If they go to the NBA Finals, I will be there at one of those games. So, new countdown. Of course, it's wrestling related because my channel is like 90%, 95% wrestling videos. New countdown, top 5 worst wrestling, or top 5 wrestling pay-per-views that did not work, that were bad, that were boring, that were god-awful, that were shit, that absolutely sucked, that were just the shits and just god-awful. A lot of them just did not work, did not flow together the right way, felt too long, dragged on, and just sucked. Number 5. This has got to be part of anybody's worst pay-per-views. If you're a long-time wrestling fan or if you watched it on the network, it's on the network. I dare you to watch it without falling asleep or just turning your TV off or breaking it. Seriously, I dare you to watch this pay-per-view. Number 5, AWA. In their dying days, they should have probably went under 1 or 2 years earlier. And I don't like saying that because AWA, even in 87, they still had Kurt Hennig and Nick Bockwinkel. But other than that, Midnight Rockers maybe. Other than that, they didn't have barely any talent. So number 5 is AWA Super Clash 3. My God, it is awful. One of the worst pay-per-views I've ever seen. One of the most boring I've ever seen. It was a mess. It was a fucking mess. A lot of talent on it nobody cared about. The matches sucked. Barely any of them were long or any good. The only match that was okay was Kerry Von Erich and Jerry the King Lawler. But that ended up being a clusterfuck and a mess. Oh, man. I believe Kerry Von Erich cut his arm backstage or something, or in the ring, I think. I don't remember, but guy cut his arm. I don't know if he was high or something or what. Or I don't know how you cut your arm by accident with a razor blade. That should not happen. But Kerry Von Erich was probably messed up during the main event, but they weren't going to cancel it. And him and Jerry Lawler had an okay match, but their styles just didn't really go together. Kerry Von Erich bladed, cut himself way too deep. The guy was bleeding like crazy. His blood was like dripping on Jerry Lawler. It was not good. And the rest of the matches at Super Clash 3 were just absolute shit. It was shit. It's really bad pay-per-view. AWA Super Clash 3 could be ranked on this top 5. It could have been number 1. Number 4. I'm talking about all companies, I'm not just ripping on the AWA. A lot of companies have put on bad pay-per-views. And TNA put on some bad ones too. Now, TNA, Impact Wrestling, before they were Impact, TNA used to put on really good pay-per-views just about every month because I've seen a ton of them. I have a couple even DVDs of their pay-per-views, and a lot of them are really good. But this one was just, it was so embarrassing and bad because of the main event. It was just so sad to watch. And not just sad to watch, but it gets you angry as a fan to see this guy get in the ring all messed up and high or drunk. It got me really angry. And it just embarrassed. It was damn embarrassing. TNA, you should have been embarrassed. You shouldn't have let Jeff in the damn ring. You shouldn't have sent him out there. You shouldn't have. Should have came out and Bischoff could have gotten the mic and said Jeff Hardy didn't make his plane flight. He's not here. So bring out another heel to face Sting. But no. No, I don't blame Bischoff. I don't think he knew how messed up Jeff was until he went out there. Or until someone told him. So, TNA Victory Road 2011 probably wasn't a god-awful pay-per-view, but the main event was just bad. And I'm not blaming Sting. Sting did not make it bad. Jeff Hardy all messed up and high or drunk or pilled up. Whatever he was, it was sad to watch. It was embarrassing to watch. I really hope Jeff Hardy is clean for the rest of his life. Clean and sober. Because anytime the guy gets tempted to drink or do drugs, he should watch Victory Road. And that should embarrass him enough to never want to do that again. And look, I've never been into drinking or drugs. I'm not an addict. Never have been. Never will be. I've never been into substance abuse or whatever you want to call it. So look, I've never suffered from it. So I don't know what I don't know how much he struggled with it. But I've had a lot of people in my family struggle with alcoholism. 2 of my relatives actually died from it, so I know something about it. It is hell to have to live with someone in your family that's like that on alcohol or can't quit a drug problem. Trust me, I know what that feels like because I had to live through it. I'm not going to call out the person on this video because I love them too much. I'm not going to call them out on my channel like that, but I live with the person. And it's just the person that is not the addict and has to live with the addict. It's like living in hell. Trust me, it's not good. But I did not know, I cannot understand, I never will, what Jeff Hardy went through and why he became an addict. I don't know. I'm just happy the guy's clean and sober. So Victory Road 2011 is number 4. of a pay-per-view that just did not work because of the main event, ruined the whole show. And I'm sure Sting was embarrassed, and poor Sting, he was probably pissed off and embarrassed to be a part of the company. Number three, a 1999 pay-per-view called Heroes, or not, no. Heroes of Wrestling is not number 3. That's down farther. Number 3 is from, again, I'm not discriminating against any other company. Number 3 is ECW. ECW's November to Remember 1998. The whole show was not awful, but it was a mess. It did not flow together well, in my opinion. It was all over the place. It was just a mess of a pay-per-view. In 1998, at a time when ECW was on fire and had great talents, had great wrestlers and workers in the company, it should have been really one of the best pay-per-views of 98, but it was not. It was a mess. It was such a mess. And it's hard for me to put a ECW pay-per-view on a wrestling pay-per-view that just did not work, because I'm a huge original ECW fan. But to me, watching November to Remember 98, it did not work. It was a mess. The main event should have been great. You had Taz, RVD, and Sabu against a triple threat. That should have been a great main event. It was not. All the guys did not really work well together. I don't know why, but it was a mess. And Jake the Snake was even a part of it. That he was really out of shape, and that was pretty stupid to have him be a part of it, because he looked messed up, like he was drunk, or not drunk, but he was really out of shape, and he shouldn't have been in the ring. Jake the Snake was Tommy Dreamer's mystery partner. The only match that I thought was good on November to Remember 98 was the Dudleys against Boz Mahoney and Masato Tanaka. That was the best match of the show, in my opinion. All the rest was a mess. Mess of a pay-per-view from ECW. And sadly, ECW November to Remember 98 was probably the worst pay-per-view they put on, in my opinion. Number 2, 1999 pay-per-view called Heroes of Wrestling. It was like a Legends show. Brought back a lot of old timers. It was not good. It was a mess. It was a big, god-awful mess of a pay-per-view. Heroes of Wrestling was bad. It was so bad. It was so goddamn bad. It was embarrassing. In one match, you had Jake the Snake. He even cut a promo, and he was drunk when he was cutting his promo. And his match was god-awful with the late Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So Jake the Snake was drunk on the damn pay-per-view, so that makes it a really bad pay-per-view. Of a pay-per-view that did not work right there, because Jake the Snake showed up loaded. Other matches were just bad and did not work. You had One Man Gang take on Abdullah the Butcher, I think. That was just shit. It was bad. And I don't remember the other matches. I believe King Kong Bundy was a part of it. Samoan SWAT team. Stan Lane and Tully Blanchard, I believe, had a match. And that was probably the best match of the show, but it was not that good, because both guys were not in their prime anymore. And in their day, in their prime, Stan Lane, Tully Blanchard were great workers. So number 2, heroes of wrestling. Number 1, a WCW pay-per-view. What do you know? WWE, WWF did not make this top 5 worst wrestling pay-per-views that did not work. I could have added a WWE ECW pay-per-view. I could have. I'll mention it. It was shit. I think you know what I'm going to say. December to Dismember was absolute shit. God awful show. Should have never happened. And I guess Paul Heyman backstage and Vince were fighting over the direction of the show, and Vince got his way, and it was the shit. Vince, you should have not been trying to book an ECW third brand product. Now, after December to Dismember, they tried to make the ECW brand a third brand. They tried, and I guess it was okay. Because you had guys like Mark Henry, Christian, Bobby Lashley, CM Punk, John Morrison as the world champions. That was a good idea. Anyways, December to Dismember, another mess. One of the worst pay-per-views I've ever seen. But from the WWF, I've never seen one that was so bad that I would put it on a countdown of one of the worst. A pay-per-view that wasn't that entertaining, I will say, was Tuesday in Texas. A long time ago in 1991. But it wasn't the worst I've ever seen. Number 1 goes to WCW, and this pay-per-view should have been an easy success. It should have been successful. It should have been a toss-up of a baseball, a toss-up, and a home run out of the park. I don't know how you could mess this. How could you mess it up? I'll never understand it. First off, I don't know how they can mess this pay-per-view up, because the group, the faction, the NWO was on fire at the time. Monday Nitro was number 1 over and over and over in 97. And the end of 96, again, the NWO was on fire, but somehow they did not hit it out of the park. As I put this baseball down, I don't know why I'm holding it so long, but it was not out of the park. It was not a home run. It was a strikeout. NWO sold out. Not a good pay-per-view. It did not work. The whole show was bad. The only match that was okay that I enjoyed was a ladder match with Eddie Guerrero and Syxx. But that was not that good. But it wasn't that bad either. The rest of the matches were just stupid. You had the Steiners against the Outsiders, I believe, and the Steiners won the tag titles on an NWO pay-per-view. That made no sense. Because why didn't the NWO have their own ref? Or, I believe they did, but Nick Patrick was the NWO's ref. And WCW ref ran into the ring and counted the 3. It was dumb. But that kind of made sense, because then on Nitro, Bischoff fired the referee that counted the 3 to make the Steiners win. The main event was god-awful. Hollywood Hogan against a Giant. It was shit. The whole show was basically shit and did not work. It should have been epic. Should have went down in history as one of the most innovative, awesome pay-per-views ever, but it was not. First off, they had it. It shouldn't have been in the state it was in. I don't even remember where it was. I don't have the town of where it was. Maybe I can find the town. Give me a minute. So, yeah. I'm trying to find where are the WCW pay-per-views. They gotta be here in this book. So I'll be back in a minute. So I'm back. I'm not sure where NWO Sold Out 97 pay-per-view was. I think it's in Idaho. Some stupid town. I feel like it was Idaho. Now, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Iowa or something. I don't know. But the point is, it shouldn't have been held there. NWO Sold Out. The first one should have been held in like Vegas or on the East Coast or in LA. Not in that town because the fans were shit. And the fans didn't care. And the commentary was bad. Bischoff and Ted DiBiase should have not been on commentary, but they were part of the NWO for life, so I guess they had to be. The commentary was just dumb. And they had some guy during the WCW talent entrances, when they'd come out, some guy was like speaking above them, some announcer, and he was ripping the WCW talent, like making fun of them and even throwing out racial slurs in 97. I guess people still did that on pay-per-views and thought it was cool. It wasn't cool. It was stupid. I remember Eddie Guerrero coming out, and the guy that the NWO announcer goes, "Mexican jumping bean Eddie Guerrero." Come on. That's fucking racist. They shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. There was just no need for it. So, number one, wrestling pay-per-views that did not work. Number one, NWO Sold Out 97. It should have been a home run. As I said, it should have been a home run of a pay-per-view, but it was a mess. It was a strikeout. It was bad. It was really bad. Go back, watch it on the network if you dare. Bye for now, everybody.